Alright, welcome to the Freedom Unchained channel. I just wanted to react to this video. It's actually from Audit. They put some pretty good productions together. One of those channels that think they know law because they can read codes and look up other people's rules. But we all know that's not true law. That would be called laws of tyrants. But let's get to it. This one's pretty disheartening.
June 26, 2020, 73-year-old Karen Garner, who suffers from dementia and sensory aphasia, which impairs her ability to communicate and understand, attempted to leave a Walmart in Loveland, Colorado, carrying $13.88 of items she had not paid for when she was stopped by store employees. Ms. Garner attempted to hand over her credit card to pay for the items, but the employees refused to allow her to pay and took the items back. Ms. Garner left the store, and a Walmart employee then called the Loveland Police Department.
This video shows how horrible society is, and the lack of brains people have on being able to handle situations. Like, if she was willing to pay for $13, even if she was not senile, which anyone with a brain, after interacting with this lady probably for a minute, could tell that she wasn't lucid, she was senile. And instead of taking a payment and letting her go, a mob of immoral employees pretty much attack her. How sickening.
To report the supposed theft. Officer Austin Hopp responded to the call and tracked down Ms. Garner as she was walking home on the side of the road. Officer Hopp pulled up behind Ms. Garner with his lights on, and when she did not stop, he stopped his vehicle and approached her.
So I've seen this video before. I never saw the Walmart video part of it, but I did see this body cam from this officer. And the first time I saw it, I thought it was disgusting. And seeing it again made me want to react to it. Because we should not have officers on the street that do not have brains to be able to handle situations like this. They are a threat to society, and they need to be taken off the streets, which, fortunately, we see in the title. The title says, "Cops get fired, arrested, and sued after unlawful arrest."
All right, let's stop, ma'am. I don't think you want to play it this way. Ma'am.
They are so tough, so above the law, so like, they're always so high and mighty. You don't want to play it like this. Like, how will you get a reaction from the person first? Like, let's keep it at a 1. How about the whole interaction? Like, officers should not be able to arrest anybody unless they're literally hurting people in society, like a physical harm. Like, they should actually do their job and investigate, and then go bring charges, and then get a court warrant, and then arrest them. Them dealing with situations like this harms more people than it does good.
Police, stop. You want to stop? Lights on, siren, stop. You just left Walmart. Do you need to be arrested right now? No.
Right there, you should be like, okay, this lady's not okay. Maybe I should handle this situation a little differently. Maybe I should approach her with different questions. Maybe I should see if she is lucid or not.
Okay, let's stop.
After failing to effectively communicate with Ms. Garner.
But no, instead of allowing her to go on her way and then investigating later, we are going to get physical, and we are going to cause bodily harm to an individual.
Officer Hopp grabs her and throws her to the ground in an attempt to restrain her. Ms. Garner, visibly confused, repeatedly tells Officer Hopp that she's going home as the two engage in a brief scuffle. Eventually, Officer Hopp is able to place Ms. Garner into handcuffs and lead her back to his patrol car.
I'm not doing anything.
Right now you're resisting, which is not going to fly with me.
He's not going to fly with me, because I'm above the law, and I'm above authority, because I am authority.
Before that, you tried to steal from Walmart, and they caught you and took the stuff back. Stand up.
Okay, so where's your evidence? Where's your proof? You're just going to cause bodily harm to somebody, and you don't even know what they stole, and they don't even have it on their possession, and it was $13 in value. Actually, that was just the ticket price. It's probably worth even less than that. Because if this was a common law court, or if you were bringing her into a common law court, a man couldn't be like, she stole $13 worth of stuff from me, because that's not what they paid for it. They'd have to claim what they paid for it.
I'm not going. Why are you fighting with me? And why are you trying to slip the cuffs off?
How can you not tell she is not lucid? How do you not tell she has a mental illness? Why would you hire officers with this low of intelligence?
I'm going home.
Stop.
I'm going home.
No, you're not. Are you finished?
Look at that arm right there. You can't even do that in wrestling. That would be an be an illegal armbar in wrestling, because that would cause damage to the person's shoulder and arm.
Are you finished? We don't play this game. You understand me? And if you try to kick me, oh, this is gonna be bad.
I'm going home.
Stop.
We don't play this game because we're fucking authority.
I'm going home. I'm going home.
Tyrants gave me a gun and badge and gave me orders to go harass the public.
I'm going
Quit!
home.
Shortly after Officer Hop was able to gain control of Ms. Garner, Officer Daria Jalali arrives on the scene, and the two officers once again force Ms. Garner to the ground.
So now we have another officer on scene that is not smart enough to understand this lady is not lucid. Instead of stopping her partner from causing bodily harm to an individual that is not causing harm to the public, she decides to join in.
I'm going home.
No, stop.
I'm pushing.
Oh, there we go.
That's how you know they're retarded, because they can't even figure out the locks.
All right. Sit down.
I'm going home.
Sit down.
I'm
down.
going home.
Get in the cart.
In you go.
Do not hook onto him.
I'll come on the other side and grab her. What's that?
Where's your sergeant? Huh?
Who's my sergeant?
Yeah.
Okay, well, first, I can tell you that. Sergeant Metzler, he's at the police department. You can go talk to him if you have an issue.
Yeah, give me your card so I can put a report.
Okay.
I see you is there how you throw the little kid.
Little kid?
Well, I don't know
He's
if
not a
he's
little kid. And this
he
is
was
what happened.
he was just walking and I see you how
She
you
just
grab him.
stole from Walmart.
What a good Samaritan. You know, it's unlawful to not stop and help your fellow citizens when they are being assaulted and abused, even if they are being assaulted and abused by officers.
And refused to stop, refused to listen to lawful orders, and to fight me. This is what happens when you fight the police. I have to use force to safely detain her. That's what this.
No, you could have let her go, and then you could have got a warrant, you could have done an investigation, and you could arrest her later if that was the need to protect the public.
This isn't just some random act of aggression.
Officer Jalali assists Officer Hop in restraining Ms. Garner's feet and placing her in the patrol vehicle, after which a concerned citizen confronts Officer Hop about his conduct. Although Officer Hop informs the citizen that he was within his authority to use force against Ms. Garner, his conduct almost certainly violated department policy, Colorado law, and the U.S. Constitution. Section 18-1-707 of the Colorado Revised Statutes currently states that, quote, peace officers in carrying out their duties shall apply non-violent means when possible before resorting to the use of physical force. A peace officer may use physical force only if non-violent means would be ineffective in effecting an arrest. However, this language was recently added to the statute by Colorado Senate Bill 20-217, and although the bill was signed on June 19, 2020, these provisions did not go into effect until September 1st, 2020. At the time of Ms. Garner's arrest, the statute that was in effect stated that, quote, a peace officer is justified in using reasonable and appropriate physical force upon another person when and to the extent that he reasonably believes it necessary to effect an arrest. When courts determine whether an officer's use of force is quote-unquote reasonable under both Colorado law and the Fourth Amendment, they review the totality of the circumstances, focusing on three factors identified by the Supreme Court in the 1989 case of Graham versus Connor. Now, quoting, the severity of the crime at issue, whether the suspect poses an immediate threat to the safety of the officers or others, and whether he is actively resisting arrest or attempting to evade arrest by flight. While it technically could be argued that Ms. Garner was attempting to evade arrest by slowly walking away from Officer Hop in her confusion, the first two Graham factors clearly weigh against the use of force in this situation. Ms. Garner was accused of the attempted theft of Pepsi, a candy bar, a t-shirt, and some Shout wipe refills, which is a petty offense in Colorado. And as an elderly woman with dementia who was 5 feet tall, weighed approximately 80 pounds, and was simply trying to walk home, she clearly posed no threat to anyone's safety.
Oh, well,
I don't know if you realize that.
Yeah, well, the way that I see it from over there,
Okay.
I was like, that's not...
But you see, you don't know the whole situation. That's the thing.
Yeah, but it's like...
But
you
knowing
see-
the situation, do you
not
feel differently now?
Oh, yeah. But
That's it.
like seeing it from there, that guy just walking.
Yeah, I get
You
that.
know.
I get that.
Oh, and now we're in the future, and the concerned citizen is correct, and the high and mighty officer is fired and incorrect and wrong.
So when I went to go grab her and talk to her, she started running, leaving, pulling away from me, trying to fight me.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't see it running,
Exactly. So before you go to a snap judgment, you gotta get all the facts.
But right here, she wasn't running.
Whoa, oh my god. Maybe you should follow your own logic. Before you run to a snap judgment, why don't you get all the facts? Instead of causing physical harm to an elderly individual, maybe you should do an investigation and do your fucking job and gather all the facts.
I get that.
I see her walking right
Yeah.
there. You pull
All right.
over.
I gotta deal with this. You hang tight, okay?
Get your feet in the car.
All right. Here, let me see your feet.
Credit card.
We'll get it.
Oh, my credit card.
Are you shitting me? Did they just leash her feet and then slam the leash in the door? What if there was an accident? What if they were driving and there was an accident while she was in the car and the fire department had to rescue her and they had a harder time rescuing her because her feet are bound and locked in the door and they would have no idea that was the case?
Karen, I got your credit card, okay? It'll go with you. What's your date of birth, Karen?
I want my credit card.
I have it. You will have it with you. I will not lose it, I promise. What's your date of birth, Karen? What's your date of birth? What's your date of birth? Okay.
That would have been hilarious if she said, "That'd be hearsay, officer. I wouldn't want to lie to you. I wasn't really lucid when I was born."
The officers attempt to ascertain Ms. Garner's identity by asking her when she was born, but she refuses to engage with the officers. Throughout the interaction, it does not appear
Oh, come on, audit the audit. We know your estate is shill, but she refuses? She doesn't even know what's going on.
that any of the officers even consider the possibility that Ms. Garner was mentally unstable, despite the obvious symptoms of dementia she exhibits. The Loveland Police Department policy on interaction with persons suspected of suffering from mental illness states that, quote, department members are not expected to act as mental health clinicians, make diagnoses, or provide medical or psychiatric advice, but they should be aware of commonly encountered behaviors associated with mental disorders. The policy identifies dementia as one of the mental disorders that police officers often encounter, lists disorientation, regression, memory loss, and disordered thinking and speech as typical symptoms that officers should be aware of, and explains that, now quoting, when encountering a person exhibiting signs or symptoms that may indicate the person is suffering from a mental illness, enforcement personnel should attempt to establish a sincere relationship with the individual, while maintaining the safety and security of all persons involved throughout the encounter. According to the policy,
Why do you have to tell an individual that, especially a law enforcement or a peace officer? Why do you have to tell a peace officer to be reasonable? And when you come up to a person suffering from mental illness, establish a sincere relationship and don't be a fucking dickhead.
Officers should also model calm behavior and non-threatening body language, use simple commands, announce actions before initiating them, ask direct and simple questions that permit a very brief response, permit adequate response time when asking questions, utilize active listening techniques, and expect possible delayed responses due to confusion and fear. It is evident from the body camera footage that Officer Hop either failed to notice the clear signs of mental impairment in Ms. Garner's behavior or intentionally violated this policy in his interactions with her.
Negative, sorry. I got nothing else. It's just from a credit card she has. Copy. She's probably like 4'10", 5 foot, maybe like 100 pounds.
How'd you said you were fine? I would have gotten here quicker.
Oh, you were good. Had her handled. If it was a big dude, it'd been different. But she was like 20 pounds. What's the 200?
For what?
Well, at least resisting right now.
Is that a 200? Yeah, okay.
Hey.
Let's get her down to the station.
Okay, we don't need to wait for Capella.
No, we can see what I mean, we know she, what's it say?
She stole some stuff, and they caught her before she left and got it back, and then she ran out. So we have the...
And then you contacted her for that.
And then she resisted and obstructed.
So
we're good either way.
So we're good either way.
Cool.
She's going.
All right.
If they decide not to prosecute, I don't care.
Cool. Okay, we'll head down there.
Sergeant Philip Metzler tells Officer Hop that Ms.
She obstructed and resisted. First, she has a right to remain silent. Second, how does she obstruct? Like, you didn't even give her notice of why you were stopping her. Even if she was aware of her actions in the store, you didn't have 100% guarantee identification that that was that individual. It would be impossible for you to have 100% identification on that individual.
Ms. Garner is going to be charged with resisting arrest and obstructing a peace officer regardless of whether the Walmart employees decide to prosecute her for attempting to shoplift. Although laws vary from state to state, in Colorado, individuals can still be found guilty of resisting arrest when they are not convicted of the charge they were being arrested for. Section 18-8-103 of the Colorado Revised Statutes, which defines the offense of resisting arrest, states that, quote, "It is no defense to a prosecution under this section that the peace officer was attempting to make an arrest which in fact was unlawful if he was acting under color of his official authority, and in attempting to make the arrest he was not resorting to unreasonable or excessive force giving rise to the right of self-defense." However, if charges were pursued against Ms. Garner, she would have a strong argument that she was acting in self-defense, as a court would likely conclude that Officer Hop was using unreasonable and excessive force. Additionally, Ms. Garner's mental condition could serve as another defense if charges were filed against her, since to obtain convictions for both resisting arrest and obstructing a peace officer, which is codified in Section 18-8-104 of the Colorado Revised Statutes, the government would be required to prove that she acted, quote-unquote, knowingly, which Section 18-1-501 defines as being aware of the nature of one's conduct. Under Section 18-1-803 of the Colorado Revised Statutes, evidence of a, quote-unquote, impaired mental condition, which Section 16-8-102 defines as, quote, a condition of mind caused by mental disease or defect that prevents the person from forming the culpable mental state that is an essential element of any crime charged, can be offered as a defense to show that a criminal defendant was incapable of acting knowingly.
So another laundry list of reasons why you should learn common law and stay out of the jurisdiction of the government that have no right to bring frivolous charges upon a man unless you cause harm, injury, or loss to another man, which that would be called doing wrong. Anything else that is not causing harm, injury, or loss is not wrong. Breaking their little tiny codes, their little authority written by somebody else, which isn't really authority. Thank God in America, in a common law country, if you understand how due process works, where you actually need a claimant to come forward and say you have done them wrong, then you can stop these charges in their tracks, because officers have no right to bring these frivolous charges ever, unless you cause harm, injury, or loss to them, which is normally on the other hand, or other foot, where the officers are causing harm, injury, or loss to the public, which they're supposed to be serving the public. So if you want to learn more about how to stay out of the jurisdiction of the government, subscribe to the channel, please comment. Let's get a conversation started about this. Smash the like button, share this video around, And let's just keep on going.
Given Officer Hop's use of excessive force, Ms. Garner's right to self-defense, and her impaired mental condition, it is highly unlikely that she would be convicted of resisting or obstructing. And this is likely why the charges against her were quickly dropped.
Hey, you got the door open. Come on, Karen.
I'm gonna run.
You're gonna run?
Oh, you got the door open. Wow, it's amazing. You low IQ officers can actually open a door quicker than 30 seconds it takes you normally.
Oh, good thing we got the hot one.
What did he say? Good thing we have the hot button?
Oh, good thing we got the hot one.
I missed that. Did anybody get that?
I was gonna pay for it.
But you didn't.
After the
Because the immoral, crazy Walmart employees didn't allow her to pay for it. And this is the problem with society. This is the problem with the indoctrinated. This is the problem with the sheeple.
The officers brought Ms. Garner to the police station. She was carried inside, handcuffed to a bench, and left there for several hours without medical care. As a result of Officer Hop's use of force, Ms. Garner suffered a fractured and dislocated shoulder, a
Oh, we couldn't have guessed that one. Yeah, we couldn't have guessed that one. It wasn't just because her elbow was above her head that we could have guessed that one.
bloody nose, scrapes to her face, and contusions to her knees. She was also diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder following the incident and continues to suffer debilitating physical pain in her shoulder, arm, and wrist. While Ms. Garner was restrained at the police station, security footage showed Officers Hop and Jalali reviewing the body camera footage with Community Service Officer Tyler Blackett, high-fiving, bragging, and celebrating the injury to Ms. Garner's arm. In his narrative,
These people are disgusting. And you guys worship these people. This is why we need private policing, non-for-profit, non-profit as in non-extortion. Maybe a subscription-based model where the public doesn't have to be forced to pay for a corrupt, immoral police department. A police department that doesn't destroy communities, but actually does peace officing or peaceful policing that actually cares for people's well-being, and maybe peacekeeping that actually does investigative work to solve crimes and catch the actual criminals that cause crime and not made up statutes and policies and procedures and junk that some fucking dictator writes down on a piece of paper just to keep the slaves in order. How about that? I think that would be a better society for us all.
report on the use of force, Officer Hop wrote that, quote, upon contact, the suspect attempted to flee the scene and was placed onto the ground to safely detain her. The suspect fought against officers continuously, and several controlling holds had to be used. The suspect sustained minor
Controlling hold. You mean dislocating her shoulder by forcing her elbow above her head, which isn't even illegal in a fighting sport.
lacerations to her wrists from the handcuffs, and a small laceration to her chin. Despite the fact that this account was clearly contradicted by the body camera footage and Ms. Garner's actual physical condition, multiple higher-level officers, including Sergeant Metzler, approved the use of force as, quote, necessary, reasonable, and within policy. In fact, no action was taken against any of the officers involved until Ms. Garner filed a federal lawsuit against the city of Loveland, Officers Hop and Jalali, and Sergeant Metzler on April 14, 2021. Ms. Garner's attorney, Sarah Shilka, publicly released the body camera footage, and in response to national outrage over the incident, Officer Hop was placed on administrative leave, and Officer Jalali and Sergeant Metzler were reassigned to administrative duties pending an internal investigation. All three officers, as well as Officer Blackett, later resigned, and the city retained law enforcement consulting firm Hillert Hines to conduct an independent investigation of the arrest and the department's policies, practices, and procedures. On May 19, 2021, the Colorado 8th Judicial District Critical Incident Response Team concluded an investigation into the incident, and criminal charges were filed against former officers Hop and Jalali. Mr. Hop pled not guilty to all three charges and is scheduled for a jury trial in April 2022. As of the date of this episode, Ms. Jalali has yet to enter a plea on the charges against her, and they remain pending. However, Loveland city leaders agreed to pay Ms. Garner a $3 million settlement on September 9th. Overall, the former Loveland officers get an F for escalating a minor violation into an unnecessary and violent arrest, failing to consider Ms. Garner's mental condition before using force, and for displaying an unprofessional attitude and what could certainly be considered sociopathic tendencies at the very least. The conduct of Mr.
Oh, you wouldn't expect that from an officer. I would guess 90% of them have sociopathic tendencies. Sorry to all the good officers out there that are actually trying to do good work, because I actually had a conversation with one that actually lives in my town. So thank you, sir, for actually trying to do good work. But we will teach you the law, so you stop violating the law and the Constitution. But this is why citizen journalists go out and record the police, so we can guarantee evidence of this kind of conduct of officers, because not all officers have body cams. And even if they do have body cams, like in this situation where they had body cams and it didn't disappear, these two right here are too sociopathic to even think they probably did anything wrong. So why would they even think to try to cover up and hide these body cams in whatever ways they normally do that, so it's harder to find. But without videos like this, then the public wouldn't know how their officers treat people like this, and they wouldn't be held accountable for their sociopathic actions.
Hop and Ms. Jalali was nothing short of inhumane from the very beginning of this interaction, and their corruption continued well beyond Ms. Garner's arrest. Not only did the officers celebrate injuring a mentally unstable senior citizen, but they also made several attempts to alter or delete the body cam footage.
Oh, maybe they did try to. Ugh, I couldn't even have guessed. Well, what did I expect? I didn't expect that from them. You know, because they're law-abiding officers. Couldn't have guessed that was going to happen, or be attempted.
Lackluster covered the details of the officer's actions following this encounter, and I highly recommend checking out his video to get a fuller picture of the lengths these officers.
Thank God, look at that view right there. That's a great picture. Thank God that officer is in that beautiful color, puke color green with that freaking diaper on his face and some beautiful, shiny silver bracelets.
Officers went to in an effort to cover their tracks. I will leave a link to his coverage in the description below. The behavior of these individuals extends far beyond the context of a police encounter, and I believe that Mr. Hop's actions were just as much those of an evil and dispassionate person as they were an act of officer misconduct. This is yet another officer who deserves a grade lower than an F, and this interaction highlights the importance of taking legal action following an act of misconduct. If Ms. Garner hadn't filed her lawsuit, then this encounter likely would have never been known to the public, and Officer Hop would still be a member of the Loveland Police Department. As for Ms. Garner, it would not be appropriate to assign a grade to an individual who was not in full control of their mental faculties at the time of the interaction. If nothing else, this encounter is a prime example of the current relationship between American policing and individuals suffering from mental health conditions, and is a testament to the complications that often arise when poorly trained officers attempt to handle these cases. Ms. Garner was not only a victim of police misconduct, she was also the victim of a corrupt human being, and a society's refusal to act upon the shortcomings of policing and mental health care. I commend Ms. Garner for having the courage to follow up this interaction with the proper legal action, and I sincerely hope that this encounter inspires other departments to take preemptive measures to ensure that their officers know how to properly handle mental health calls. Let us know if...
Well, thank you to her family that probably supported her and actually got her to file these charges. But don't you guys think this is a disgrace? This is disgusting. And this is shameful to see things like this. This is why we need to modify our security of our property. And I hope that with this channel we can move those processes forward. We can build a better society that isn't taken over by a corrupt government and corrupt policing. Does this piss you guys off as much as it pisses me off? I hope you guys comment in the bottom. Let me know what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel. Please smash the like button. Please hit the bell notification. Share this video around. And until next time, I'm going to leave you guys in the love and the light of the One Infinite Creator. Peace.